Alright, so at long last we're checking out Northlane's Alien. Now I feel like I've heard about this album a lot. It feels like a really big one in as far as recent albums go in this core community, more or less. And definitely a big one for Northlane's discography. Why? We're gonna find out. I kind of liked some of the songs off of Obsidian that I heard, and I really liked the single they dropped recently called Dante. I really liked that one. I haven't had a chance yet to give any of those full projects a swing. Maybe we'll do them at some other point if we like this. But without further ado. Already stinky with the synth. Let me get these lyrics ready. Oh, the drum fill, fuck yeah. I'm already liking this background synth too. Alright, we love the good old standby metalcore, you can't fuck with me, you knock me down, I'll get back up lyrics. That drum feels so good. Love that fucking descending bent riff. How do you not want to fucking throw down to this, dude? Oh shit, we're doing two very different things in the vocals and the guitars. I beg your pardon? You can make me disappear. Kind of like the way the riff sounds like a synth almost in itself. I don't know if it's because it's writing a synth or what, but oof. Alright, we're off to a spicy start. Let's see if they can keep this momentum up, though. Getting that nasty fucking Nine Inch Nails vibe on the drums. Honestly, kind of everything a little bit. Even that synth, man, one big old ball of nostalgia. I like it. We're gonna go to the chorus or we're gonna go crazy. Oh. I love how all over the place the breakdowns are as far as like the actual notes being played. It's not like a 3-part scale or even like a usual ones and zeros. They're kind of dynamic. Catchy ass chorus, hell yeah. Planner of them stutters. Let's go. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, that synth is amazing. The drums, and they come in hard. Let's go. Going for them. Go the gang chorus. All right. This better pay off, man. You just took all the momentum. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Pay it off. What a fucking chorus. Building drums. Interesting mix. They kind of kick the guitars back. Fuck, here they come. Nope, they're still gone. Weird. This is a trip. Okay. Wow, what an interesting choice for a breakdown. I don't know if I liked it, but this chorus, come on, hit me. Or not, it's cool. I like it. This is so good. Bringing those synths back. Oh, dude. This does everything that I love about Dante, for example, just the soaring nature, dude. It's just they're really good at making these really huge, gorgeous, epic moments with the synth work and the vocals as well, man. Which is awesome because so far I think this song is the first time he's really kind of stretched out on the album so far. Some interesting choices throughout, but either way, dude, fuck me. Big standout so far. Big standout so far. Love the bouncy riff. Let's go. All right, back to that 90s love. Oh, I'm gonna break something. Excuse me. Really gonna hit me with the singing right now? Get a barn burner on our hands, bro. Come on. You know what? I'm not mad. So I'm checking out the lyrics. Not a whole lot going on to comment on, really. This is all the production and the intensity is the star of the show here by far. Throw it back. Come on. Ooh. Oh, I love it when the bands get into those catastrophic final breakdowns where it sounds like everything's just going to absolute shit. They're bending riffs left and right. The tempo's falling out of place. Mwah! That was a good one. That went a little bit all over the place, but it was a good one. They sure do know their riffs, my god. The beginning of every single song really gets you going. that thing again where they're like syncing random instruments really low in the mix. Like this time we got drums barely audible. Kind of interesting to hear bands really experiment with production, but just doing it with volume levels more or less. Like the synths are drowning everything out. Okay, the lyrics took a little bit more of a darker turn on this one. I almost don't want to know what it's about, because... little fucking crunched out, barely perceivable little dance groove. It's an unpleasant transition. Ooh, they're gonna kill me? Again? More? Sure, I don't know if I'm connecting with the chorus on this one. Really? Maybe a little too much falsetto for me, but pretty good jam either way. Drop it. I gotta give them credit. Their breakdowns seem to just never go where you think they're gonna go. Like, these are kind of all over the place, very innovative. They do a lot of stuff that I don't even think people have copied since, honestly. Ah, it's such a cool progression there. That's so cool. What a great place to just drop into a, like, industrial beat. Yeah, alright. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Northlane. Let's go. I could use about 5 more minutes of that, honestly. That was cool as shit. We're outside the club now. Where are we gonna go with this? Yeah, give me more of this freaky shit. Let's go. Come on. Oh, come on, man. Why does electronic music go so well with metal? Especially when they make sure to use the more intense sounds. Oh, I love how fucking weird this track is. Well, this tail end is just going all sorts of crazy with the electronics, and I'm here for it. I actually wish there was more going on in the first half so far. Pretty solid lead in. good subtle tempo shift. And a beat shift, I guess. Not so much tempo. Loving the introduction of more clean synth work here. More dreamy, ambient soundscapes, lots of pad work. Going for a little minimalistic bit here. We're gonna end with the same restraint we have here. We're gonna go a little crazy at the end here. The stuttering is not inspiring confidence. Now we got a Rhodes keyboard fading in and out there. All these elements are super interesting, dreamy, kind of suffocating. Nice, a really restrained track. Hey, we're off to a strong start here. Alright, a little bit of a like scream shouted chorus here. Almost a little bit of a hip hop flow there. Playing with the envelope, that was fun. I love the random off timing riff here. Oh. Beats to study to. I think one more good slam for the penultimate track would have been a good lead off of that, but we're gonna fade. Dialing up the freaky little chittering noises. Set fire, the red icon. Set fire, till the light. Red dimension. It's every time there's a bomb so fading to passion. Bringing back those mathy, off-timing, crazy, snappy drums and riffs. My lungs are like rust. I'm melting the sun and giving my down. I can't keep fighting. Fire, the red icon. Set fire till the light. Oh, feels almost like we changed songs. When do they go into these like really eruptive prog metal sections? That's peak heavy for them. Where are we going? Come on. Bringing back that riff. Alright, pretty solid. I think we were at our strongest when we were being a little bit more experimental, but that's fine. This is a metalcore album at the end of the day. This is the last track. Alright, what are we gonna do? Saxophone. The 10 out of 10. I don't make the rules. Wait, it might actually be. Hold on. Put Hold on. This is a long song. They're gonna do some shit. Probably right here, right? Right? Pretty. Fuck me. It's so pretty. Ah. These soaring synth-led sections just work so well with the heaviness. It's where the album excels so good. I wish we had a little bit more than like 3 songs of it, but trying to get a beat on this progression a little bit here. Well, okie dokie. That was Alien. Let's talk about it. So I'm not terribly sure what to make of it, honestly. There's some things that I really loved about this album, and then there's some things that I wasn't like super hot on, and I feel like for the most part, it's stuck in the realm of like kind of somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? Where I think it was doing a very great job of being intense, and a really cool experimental turns when it's doing like the 90s kind of like industrial synth stuff, which is a good chunk of it, to be fair. I want to say like the metalcore aspects of the album are actually my least favorite. Like there are some parts where they were like scream sung choruses, you know what I mean? I don't know if those choruses pretty much didn't land for me at all on this record. You know what did land for me is the few times they let him really go off with his vocals as far as like his range goes. You know, when he really got up there. When he rode along with the synths and these like very wide open chords to make these really great soaring passages, that was great. 4D is a great example. Honestly, I think 4D is the best song on this album, and usually like sometimes I have issues picking a best song like right away after first listen. It's not even close. 4D is far and beyond my favorite song on this album because I think it does everything that I was looking for, like just right on here. I was a huge fan of like kind of the more industrial passages, like the, you know, the Marilyn Manson 9 Inch Nails sounds with some of the vocals, mostly in kind of like the first chunk. I did like towards the like middle end of the album where they were really going out there with using different samples and different beats and different kind of like techno influences with like trance sounds and industrial and house and all this stuff. That was where they were really starting to capture me and really starting to grab it, but I just don't think it was holding that all the way through. This is an album, like many albums before it and after it, in my opinion, where I think rather than a full album of perfection for me, it's an album of moments. Fantastic, tons of gorgeous moments, some of the best moments I've heard in metal this year. But mind you, this didn't come out this year. I'm very late to this boat, and I will give it that credit because like when did this release? 2019. Okay, not as early as I thought. They're not as early to the ship as I thought, but they're, I want to say, arriving towards the first wave of this really latest stretch of like metalcore meets all sorts of crazy cyberpunky electronic influence. And I definitely have to give them their flowers for that. But just overall, a really, really solid outing. Not my favorite piece of music in the world, hell no. But definitely really, really good shit here. Alright, so you've seen the title of this video. You've seen the little text bits that I've thrown throughout the video talking about my current understanding of the album now. It definitely took me a couple tries to really listen to this album and break down its core elements. My first reaction was not my finest moment, which honestly, that's kind of how it is, right? You feel the music on the first reaction, but you really want to take time to pick it apart, re-listen, get all the different elements, get the feelings going more or less. And there's been a couple albums where I've really lucked out on and I've really nailed it on the first try, but this was not one of them. From the get-go, I kind of thought the lyrics were pretty standard, metalcore stuff. Take me down, I rise up again, rah, That's not the case. It's not at all the case. The lyrics are extremely personal about an abusive childhood with a father who was alcoholic, on drugs, abusive, violent, extremely traumatic, extremely affecting. And the album's lyrics are simple. They are raw, emotive, aggressive, not horridly poetic for the most part. I think the one time the lyrics are really taking a kind of abstract tone was in Freefall with the cold metal, and I hadn't understood it. I started to pick up on okay, hold on, something's weird. He's talking about somebody putting a gun to his father's head. What the fuck? And it's talking about how he kind of felt nothing when that happened. He felt, it's hard to feel sympathy for somebody who's been so cruel to him. It's hard to feel scared for his life when this is his life because of that man, And I think that kind of theme of just how he deals with the man informs the lyrics of the album, informs the energies of the album, and really makes me respond differently to certain tracks like Paradigm and Rift. Rift being, about dealing with kind of somebody who's high, somebody who uses drugs, somebody who's addicted to drugs, and is promising that they will get better, promising they will quit, not necessarily taking those steps. Maybe sometimes they get clean for a little bit, but they relapse, and eventually, you want to be supportive, you want to be there for them, but at the same time, for your own health, for your own mental health, you have to kind of sit back and realize when enough is enough, when it's it becomes less a thing of, I'm here for you no matter what, and more a, hey, I hope you do get better, but I'm not holding my breath. Now, musically, it still kind of brings me to this last chunk of the album, which I wasn't, massively thrilled with. Now, I will say, I warmed up even more to the first half. First half, I was talking about how, some of the metalcore stuff wasn't really gripping me. Songs like Talking Heads and Freefall are fucking outstanding. Even Jinn's pretty good on its own. The chorus took a while for me to kind of get on there, but I really have warmed up to it, especially with that really dynamic, intense, industrial outro leading into Eclipse, which is another one of my favorite songs on the album by far. So the gap between 4D and the other tracks is not nearly as wide in retrospect. And so overall, I would bring my thoughts about the album up a little bit more. Yeah, that last half is not... The last half starts to kind of slow the pacing down and hit the brakes, really. And I think overall it causes it to be kind of a harder front to back listen, but because of the story they're telling, because of the feeling of it, it's hard to say there's filler, you know what I mean? It's hard to say, oh, take this track out, maybe it would have been better. I don't think that would work, and honestly, independently, these songs are rather fantastic on their own. It's just the way they're placed in the album that makes it kind of harder for me to enjoy the ride all the way through. So at the end of the day, I definitely respect every single individual track for the story they're telling, for the feeling that they're evoking, but at the same time, acknowledging that as a full album, listening enjoyment experience, it may not be one of their finest hours. It may not be a finest hour in metalcore sort of thing. But I think overall, still though, I'm massively impressed with the album. The intensity and brutality mixed with some genuinely interesting electronic experiments. is super refreshing and was a great kind of precursor to most metalcore now. With honestly, like, obviously electronics and metalcore have been around since like the 10s, even before then, but I feel like this is kind of where it entered a more mainstream eye, so to speak. Less of those fringe electronic core bands and more just kind of something you include with metalcore by default. And so yeah, I just wanted to come here and add these little clarifying notes at the end, because as you guys know, I was supposed to put this out fucking ages ago. I shot this video back in July. Yeah, July. And, you know, I've been editing on and off because I've been sick, in and out of the hospital. Hopefully everything's all good. We're still kind of clearing up on what exactly happened. And I may or may not talk about that in the future. I may keep that one close to the vest. We'll see. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Take care.